Go on now.
Christmas 2012 on BBC Radio 2.
The stars are queuing around the block to spend Christmas with you. Just look at this lot.
Hello there, I'm French and Saunders.
And so am I.
Hi, I'm Gloria Stefan.
By the way, I'm Paul O'Grady, in case you're wondering who I am.
Join me, Cliff Richard, as we uncover the fascinating truth of the carol Silent Night.
Join me, Claire Balding, for 2012, the year to remember.
Johnny Walker meets loads of great musicians.
Starting with Art Garfunkel.
There's jazz with John Humphries and swing music with Johnny Vaughan.
Spend Christmas with the stars.
Anything I've missed? Oh, yes, me, Len Goodman.
On BBC Radio 2.
It's definitely a 10 from Len.
And that piece of BBC propaganda, just perfectly long enough for me to run down the corridor from our studio to the Elton John piano, which is in our kind of green room area, where I'm delighted to say Rick Wakeman is sitting and ready to go. Hello, Rick.
Hello there, Simon, and I'm really pleased and apologise to the 8 guys who had to cart this up the stairs.
No, it sits here. It's got Elton John's signature here.
I saw that, yeah.
On the side. And I was just thinking, you've played, I don't know if you played this piano, but you've done keyboards for Elton John.
I did, yeah. Well, I didn't do the piano, obviously, because he's a great piano player, but he hated playing the organ. So I did organ on Mab and Across the Water. And we became really good friends and great rivals. You were talking about football, about West Ham with the Simpsons, because of course he was Watford and I was a Brentford director.
Yeah.
So we had sort of many happy games when they were in the third division, and so were we.
And when you sit down at a piano,
yeah,
for the first time, and what is it that you would do to sort of assess it and say, okay, what can I do with this? So when you sat down at this,
yeah,
just a few minutes ago, what did you do? What did you play? How did you test it out?
Well, what you normally do is, when you have a first glance at a piano, it gives you a bit of a rough idea of, if there's legs missing and things, you know you're in a bit of trouble, or if it's very dusty and scratched and not been looked after. This has obviously been very well looked after, but you just literally run up from top to bottom. And you go, okay, that's in tune, all seems to work. Unlike a piano that I played once at the British Legion in Hayes, when I was about 15, I was playing in a little dance band, and I always used to have to give a B flat for the clarinetist to tune up, and I went in and I hit the B flat like that, whatever, and he went, tuned up his clarinet, and we went and had a few drinks. I was underage, so it was lemonade, of course, and then came back to start playing for the wedding, and basically I put the lid on. I used to start the piece, which was Lady is a Tramp, and I sat down and I just went, and the clarinetist Terry Burris, he said, play. I said, I am playing. And we opened the lid of the piano, looked in, and there was one hammer. It just happened to be the one that I'd hit for him to tune up. So I always do check now, because otherwise it could have been a bit embarrassing.
But the piano is up to your specifications.
This is a lovely piano. It is a beautiful piano.
Yeah. And at that time, so when you were playing organ for Elton, that was the time when you turn up as a keyboard player on loads of songs around about that time, don't you? With Mark Bolan and David Bowie. I mean, you were the man. Yeah. They didn't know any other pianist, did they? You were the guy that they went to. It was you or Russ Conway.
Yeah, dear old Russ. I produced his last record. Dear old Gladys Mills. Well, I'm bloody, yeah. There was a wonderful programme on BBC 4 about Gladys Mills recently. Very good. Yeah, I did Russ's. He re-recorded Side Saddle, which I produced for him. Bless him. But no, it was a good period of time, because I could obviously play the piano, but the thing that was useful was my reading was very good, because I'd had the classical training. So that's what at that time sessions needed. To go and look at the music, play it, and then go home, because it was all about what can you do in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah. And I wonder if your most famous piece of, just on the 70s, while we're there, and there's also some Journey to the Centre of the Earth stuff to come from that. I wonder if Morning Has Broken, the Cat Stevens tune, is that your most kind of dominant piece of music from that era? Yeah,
that probably, and Life on Mars from David Bowie probably is another one. But the Cat Stevens one was amazing. We were in the studios and we actually sang through the song through Morning Has Broken, and it was only about 40 seconds long. And Paul Samuel Smith, who was producing, went, "This is great, a bit short for a single, lads." And Cat Stevens said, "Well, we need a piano intro." So,
show us what.
Yeah, well, I mucked around for about half an hour and eventually did this. And Cat Stevens said, "I love this, keep it in." etc., etc. And so we did that.
I just love that.
And then to make it even longer, we stuck it in the middle. And then we stuck it at the end and got it out to 3 minutes.
It's a beautiful piece of
I must admit, I was very, very proud of that because it was great working with Yusuf, and he, like David Bowie, and same with Mark Bolan, would give you actually freedom to play. Yes, you would be given parts sometimes and or whatever, but they would say, come and play play what you want to play. I mean, David Bowie on the whole of the Hunky Dory album just gave me just a complete free hand. I mean, people have actually said to me, it's a bit embarrassing, they said, you must have worked really hard for that arrangement of Life on Mars to get the piano and everything to go around. I said, no, everybody had to work around me because David wanted it as a piano piece.
So round about this time, so mid-70s, Journey to the Centre of the Earth turns up, and me, spotty schoolboy in Worthing, I'm lent a copy of this, gatefold sleeve, listening on headphones, never heard anything like it at all. In my collection, there's probably Elton John, Simon and Garfunkel, and T-Rex. I mean, I think that's what I have. And then this extraordinary symphonic piece bursted. David Hemmings doing the narration.
Great David, yeah.
And a live recording, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it is astonishing. And then it sounds old now when you hear it, but you've done it again now.
Yeah, we did it again.
An unbelievable project.
Yeah, we did it again, and there was a reason we did it again. The music went missing in 1975. And was never to be found again. So it meant we couldn't play it anymore after then. Without going into a very long story, it turned up about 5 years ago, a very battered conductor's copy. So we managed to get it all onto Sibelius on the computer, managed to transcribe it. It took an awful long time. So now we had it again. My conductor guy, Prothero, who runs the English Chamber Choir, said to me, it was always meant to be longer, wasn't it? Because he sang in the original choir, and I said, yeah, but we had to take music out. We never, in fact, even recorded it or rehearsed it, because you could only fit 36 minutes onto an album. So nearly 20 minutes went. He said, what a great opportunity to put it back in. Do you know what it was? I said, yeah, there were 2 songs, extra narration. He said, well, what a great opportunity to do it. So we went, right, what a great idea. So we went back into the studio, put all the missing music in that was never there before, finished it, and the one thing that was interesting, you mentioned about the gatefold, and that's the one thing that I really miss, is getting an album cover and reading it and reading all the bits and pieces on it, and it just doesn't seem possible these days. And then the idea, which has been around for a little while, from a chap called Chris Ingham at Future Publishing, he said, how about doing a fan pack, which is where we do a massive, great big magazine, but really glossy, really nice. Could be 30 pages, 40 pages, with all the information you want. The CD comes with it, so you get the best of having a CD for quality, but you also get all the information you want. And I said, great, and it ended up as a 132-page booklet. And I'm just thrilled with it, and I think it's the way forward, because people do want to read about the products.
You're here to play some tunes and play some Christmas music, but I'd like to play a clip from the new recording of Journey to the Centre of the Earth. Right now, in the original, it's David Hemmings who's the narrator.
It is.
Before it bursts out of the turntable, as it was. So this is right at the very beginning. Who's our narrator on this?
Well, I wanted another storyteller, because that was the great thing about David Hemmings. He had such a wonderful storytelling voice. And it was actually my wife's idea. We had a huge list of names. My wife, Rachel, she said, I came home one night and she said, I found it. I said, who? She said, Peter Egan. And I said, I know Peter Egan, because we're both involved with an animal charity called the Wet Nose Awards. And I said, he'd be perfect. And spoke to him, and he came along and did just an amazing job, because you want that storytelling voice, one that you want to listen to.
Okay, well, we got a little bit of Peter Egan, and then let's an opening minute or so.
All right.
From the new recording, Rick Wakeman's Journey to the Centre of the Earth.
And so the journey from Hamburg to Iceland begins.
That's how it starts, and those chords, that melody is sort of seared into my head, and all of a sudden I'm 15 again, Rick.
And yet you'd still have me in here.
Yes, absolutely. I'm slightly disappointed you're not in a cape.
Well, it's interesting you say that. I've just come back from South America, where part of the contract is that you will perform in a cape. It's actually written in the contract, so I take
Quite
a couple
right
of
too.
Yeah.
And are you going to be playing that live here? Because I know you've done these live shows, as you mentioned, but what about in the UK?
We're doing it at Gloucester on June the 15th at Gloucester Rugby Ground, which is going to be amazing. It'll be the first time it's been done in its entire form.
But not on ice?
No, that's something I'm looking at for 2015, funny enough.
Now, look, Rick, we've got you at the piano.
Yeah.
Let's do some Christmas tunes, because you've got a whole bunch of music there. We were talking about carols in the first hour. We played a bit of Silent Night. You picked something. I know you do play Christmas music, and you do sit at the church organ, and I would queue for a long time to hear you play that. So what can you play us?
Well, I thought I'd do something which was a bit of fun. Is sometimes there's a lot of different tunes to the same carol, and Little Town of Bethlehem has at least 3, so I thought I'd stick 2 of them together.
Okay.
And then you can actually sort of sing the third one if you want to.
I probably might mime it. Fantastic. Rick Wakeman playing live for you on Radio 2. That's a mosh-up, I think.
Yes.
A Christmas mosh-up.
A Christmas mosh-up, yeah. You can't beat a good Christmas mosh-up. And the tune was in there somewhere. But you know me, why play 7 notes when you can fit in 700?
When did you start doing that little twiddly thing, which you do, which is it's sort of like a signature moment?
Yeah, somebody pointed it out the other day. I didn't really thought about it. It was probably around about early Straw's time. And I started doing it. And I did some sessions, a lot of sessions for Tony Visconti and Gus Dudgeon. And, you know, threw a few in there with people like Al Stewart. And they said, put some more of those in. And now they seem to be everywhere. You know, these are the things you've been...
Exactly. Well, and the Morning is Broken bit.
That's true, yeah.
No one else can do that. No one else can play that. They can play Morning is Broken, but no one else does it the way you do.
Yeah, I've never written it down. I should write it down, actually, so that... No, I won't. No, I'll keep it to me.
Ali in Penarth says, Simon, Rick says the music went missing. This is to Journey in the 70s. But I played Journey to the Centre of the Earth in the Usher Hall in Edinburgh in 83, one of the most memorable gigs of my life, and Rick was there. Fantastic to hear it. Brings back lots of memories.
Yeah, what happened was at the Usher Hall was there was somebody who did a sort of a version of it, which they played. I went up to see it. I mean, it wasn't the original transcript. They did actually really quite a good job of it. Yeah. But I knew that if ever I was going to do it again, it had to be with the original transcription, so it was quite amazing, you know, after so many years. I mean, 35, 36 years.
Nick in Norfolk, good to hear the one and only Rick Meister on Radio 2 can listen to the great man all night. Rick, that was fantastic. It's Pete on the tractor. Love Morning Has Broken. Simon, I used to serve Rick at Camberley McDonald's back in the 80s. It's from Sally, who's
only with chips.
Absolutely, only with chips. Claire says, I remember walking around Rick's house as a youngster whilst my dad was valuing it. I tried on some cool-looking cowboy boots. It's more of a confession.
I wonder which house that was. I have to go back and find out which divorce that was, really. That's where that came about.
That's probably it. So do you, you've recounted many times the fact you're lucky to be alive, really. You've had, how many heart attacks?
I had sort of 3, but I stopped having them because they hurt. Yes. So I don't have them anymore.
So when you get to Christmas, a lot of people get emotional at Christmas, but do you find Christmas emotional? Do you find the music emotional? Because if you feel, hang on, I am quite lucky to be alive, you might approach it slightly differently to everybody else.
I do. I mean, Christmas is a very special time of year for me. I mean, I do love it. It is a spiritual time for me, quite genuinely, and I not only do thank the Lord for getting me up to another Christmas. I literally do thank him every day. There's 2 things I do every day, which is, you know, I wake up and I'm very grateful for still being here, and I'm very grateful for being able to do what I do. I mean, it does mean an awful lot to me. Rachel and I, my wife, we have a ritual at Christmas as well. We go to the midnight mass on Christmas Eve, because it's the only way for us to really bring in Christmas. So yes, I am extremely grateful for being here, and extremely grateful for what I've been allowed to do, what I've been given music wise.
I've got a photograph here.
Oh no,
sorry, Martin in Caerphilly. Could you show Rick this picture of his biggest fan? It's my son James Goodman, almost 3.
Look at that.
Emulating his idol, and he's watching you on television.
Oh, that is
in
fantastic.
all your pomp and circumstance.
I'll just hold that up to the mic so everybody can see it at home.
Anyway, he's learning, and he's got 2 keyboards.
He's got 2 keyboards. Oh, how fantastic.
Rick, it's always fantastic to have you on the program. Can you give us 30, 40 seconds of something festive, just to get us in the mood? I don't know if you've got just as a final play-out number.
Yeah, I will do. I shall just throw up a quick piece of music, and you can fade me out, can't you?
Well, I'll give you a wind-up
shot. Yeah.
Fantastic. Rick, this is we need to do this every year, okay? This is going to be a Radio 2 tradition to get you in and just to play some stuff, because it's fantastic.
Count me in. I'll be delighted.
Rick Wakeman, appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. Look forward to Gloucester. That sounds fantastic.
Thanks, hon.
Rick Wakeman on Radio 2. We're going to play some Taylor Swift now. Rick, thank you very much.